I'm meteorologist Adam Clayton here, bringing you your daily weather briefing for this Saturday, December 17th. We are a week away from Christmas Eve, and the weather certainly is feeling a little bit more Christmas-like around here. We had a little bit of light snow here in Youngstown, Ohio. Many places are seeing snow this week, just fresh off of a huge storm system that brought blizzard conditions to parts of the high plains. Multiple days of severe weather in the southeast, and then snow and ice in the northeast, seeing still some light snow. And we have another big storm coming up down the pipe, so we're going to talk all about it today. Normally I would have had this video out a little bit sooner today, but I did have a couple of technical difficulties going on earlier. But we're here now, and we'll start by taking a look at the current satellite picture. I have this low pressure system just hanging out here in the Great Lakes, bringing lots of lake effect snow. We'll talk about that more lake effect snow later. And then high pressure sort of in the central part of the country. And then a little bit of a storm there coming onshore there in southern California. But we'll take a look at the radar. You can see all of that lake effect snow showing up across the Great Lakes region. A little bit of rain down in the southeastern United States, not much, and then also a little bit of snow there in parts of Montana and Idaho. But still seeing some of that snow there. Now, the current temperatures all across the country. Some colder air. Bismarck is at 7 degrees, and you have Miami all the way down there at 77 degrees, so still warm in Miami. It's going to be a rude awakening for the Miami Dolphins as they go play in Buffalo today. So they're headed there now, and they've had a lot of snow. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Then we got some 30s and 40s in the southeast and eastern United States. It's pretty cold in the western United States, sort of been the trend. Now this is the U.S. watches and warnings. Lots of flash flooding going on in the southeast due to all of that severe weather that they saw. And then we have some winter weather advisories. Those green colors there off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, those are lake effect snow watches and warnings. They're going to see a lot of snow and already have. And a few other warnings there in the Mountain West. Now, future precipitation for the next 7 days. I realized that I had this as future rainfall, but now that it's winter time, not all of this precipitation is going to fall as rain. In fact, some of it is going to fall as snow. But you can see a little bit different than the past couple of videos because the western United States not seeing as much precipitation. In fact, the desert Southwest is going back to being the desert Southwest. Still a lot of precipitation going to occur in the next 7 days along the Gulf Coast and in the eastern United States. The lakes really showing up once again, the Great Lakes, as we're going to see some of that lake effect going. So looking at the current radar, this is the big story for today is this lake effect. Got some snow bands coming off of Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and then really the main one is the one that's coming off of Lake Erie right now, just pounding Buffalo once again. And they just get these this time of year, just some heavy snow there. And once again, I mentioned the Miami Dolphins are taking on Buffalo at Buffalo today. And Tua famously said that it snows in Alabama too, which is of course where he played college ball at. But I think this will be a little bit different than any snow that he saw there down at the University of Alabama. They're going to be measuring the snow in the feet once again. We could track this out and look at this, just this fire hose of precipitation across, and we'll actually just replay that again. This is just over. You can just see how it's staying over the same areas through tonight into early tomorrow morning before the band finally shifts down to the south. So future snowfall here. They're going to be measuring snow in the feet once again there, and it's always South Buffalo. And I think it's really interesting. That's where they built the Bills Stadium is in South Buffalo, and that's a place that usually sees the most snow. So you can see 8 to 12 inches. Locally, could see higher than that. Some places will absolutely see more snow than that. So it's going to be quite the event. And then all eyes shift here to the big storm system that is showing up for next week. Not only is it a big storm system, also some colder air coming with this storm system as well. Now, before this, and I'll go ahead and get to the future tracker here, watching this low pressure system, it should stop here for me. Before today, we did have two camps. We sort of had the American model, the global forecasting system, which had a track that was further to the south and east, but it was an outlier. had sort of had a storm going up the northeastern coast, but the European model and the Canadian model kind of had a low pressure system that sort of cut through the Great Lakes region. Well, today the GFS has sort of gone towards the Canadian solution. So we'll track this out here. Low pressure systems going to form there in the Rockies during the day on Wednesday. Quickly dive into the southeastern United States. Now this is some cold air. You can't really see it showing up here, but I'll show it here in a second. This is Thursday afternoon. Low pressure system just arriving down there in the southeastern United States, but it's quickly going to scoot off to the north and east and strengthen quite a bit. So watch this as we go throughout the day. On Thursday, low pressure system rises up into kind of the Great Lakes along the northeastern United States, almost goes like right over top of where I live in Youngstown, Ohio. And look at these wind barbs. You can see, if you look at like Boston, that strong southerly wind showing up. And then on the back side of this, really, especially coming off of like Lake Michigan and off of like Lake Huron and Lake Erie, some really strong winds. This a low pressure system is going to be really strong because we're going to have a clash of some really cold air and then some not so cold air out ahead of it. But this storm system looks to bring quite the wintry impact to parts of the Great Lakes region. Could even see some snow accumulations down there in like Tennessee, Kentucky, and so the specifics of this storm system aren't quite out there yet, but you can see this is Friday, so this would be December 23rd. So just a couple days before, Christmas Eve and Christmas, but still Friday afternoon, this storm having a big impact in the northeastern United States, whether it be heavy rain there and like Boston, some strong winds. This could be quite the heavy rain event. As you can see, the rain is almost like originating down there in the tropical ocean. And then also this is going to be a heavy snow event for someone. The specifics aren't nailed down, but things are starting to come together. And so in the next couple of days with these videos, I'll be able to get a little bit more in depth on the specifics. But I mentioned the cold air. The cold air is probably the thing about this weather pattern that's the most nailed down. So this loop is going to take us to Christmas morning from the GFS model once it stops. And this is what the GFS model has for low temperatures as you wake up on Christmas Day. -8 there in Indianapolis. Now once again, these specifics will change. The cold air mass is going to be there, but the specifics of like how low the temperature is going to be, that will change. But I mean, it has 24 degrees all the way down in New Orleans, 25 degrees near Houston, 3 degrees near the Alabama-Tennessee state line, 4 degrees near my neck of the woods, Minneapolis, -20s showing up, Rapid City 0 degrees. So this is a very cold air mass, and this is something that's definitely going to, the cold air is going to happen. It's just nailing down the specifics of where the storm is going to go, and that's something I'm going to be doing all week. So come back and join me. I'm going to keep doing these videos. And hey, if you like this video, please subscribe. Give me a like and subscribe. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep getting better at this. And leave a comment. If there's something I didn't show that you want me to show, then please leave a comment, and I'll do my best to show exactly what you wanted me to show next week. Well, I hope everyone has a great Saturday and a great weekend. I know lots of Christmas plans going on, so I hope you have a wonderful, happy holidays, and get out there and just have a great day. I'm meteorologist Adam Clayton.